Yeah.
Upload for the socials. Hold on, let me get comfortable. Can I have a drink as well?
Yeah. Go for it.
Go with no sugar. What's a G fuel?
Oh, it's just an energy drink.
Is it good?
It's all right. Yeah.
Is it one of those ethical ones without all the bad stuff?
Yeah.
Headphones on. Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Am I the first person you've had back twice?
You are the first returning guest. You were episode 11, and we're up to episode 32 now.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me again. Firstly, 11 is one of my kind of my spiritual numbers.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm born on the 11th month. So when I play sport, I like to wear number 11.
Mm.
And I'm 32, is it? 32 now?
Yeah,
Okay.
32.
I don't know anything about that.
Teon J.
Yeah. Shaq's number 32. Was he 32?
Yeah, he was.
There you go,
Yeah,
I'm Shaq.
32.
Shaq is back.
Shakalak.
Shakalak.
So you're a November baby.
November, baby, yes.
What date?
The 5th. So
Oh.
5's my number as well.
So you're Scorpio.
Scorpio. Yourself?
I'm 26.
Of?
November.
Oh, so you're on the cusp of Sagittarianism.
Yeah.
Or you're Scorpio.
No, I'm Sagittarius. I'm
Okay.
Sagittarius. Yeah. I'm actually, well, the three of us, so there's, I got a sister and a brother, we're Valentine's babies.
Yes, of course. Yeah. 9 months ago was Valentine's Day from the day you were born, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm the 26th of November. My sister's the 24th of November. My brother was due on the 25th, but he came a week early because he's a Scorpio and he's stubborn. So he came on the 18th. So it was 18, 24, 26.
Wow.
And my dad, he worked away, like, obviously when we were younger, obviously came home for Valentine's Day, bun in the oven.
Well, you know.
Go, Dad.
That's the whole point of love, isn't it? And Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Show my love.
Yeah. How long you been married?
I'm not married.
You're not married?
I'm not married.
Oh, I thought you were married.
I'm not married.
Oh,
No ring.
right.
Not married.
No inclination to get married?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Eventually. But there are some things that we are doing first.
Yes.
For example, we're building a house.
Yes.
And we want to make sure the kids are in a good place. Make
Yeah.
sure we don't, spend. Well, so you basically don't want to spend $100,000 on something that could go towards making our life better now. Because we can always get married in 10, 15 years' time when everyone's set up and the kids are happy and the house is built and we're all comfortable and we're happy in our jobs. And then, okay, let's celebrate ourselves and get married. So there's no rush.
I mean, it's just a piece of paper, right?
I don't know. I've never been married.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's just a piece of paper.
Oh.
I speak to some people and they say nothing changes.
Yeah.
And some people say a lot changes. Some people say it's just a ring. Some people say it's just a ring and don't wear the ring. So
And
it's
some
different for everyone.
Yeah, and then some people say, oh, it actually means a lot, and
Yeah.
the commitment, and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, but
So she wants to get married, but she's okay to
yeah, I think
Like
she's okay
wait.
to wait. I mean, she's got friends who have got married
Mm.
and now are struggling to have kids,
Oh.
and struggle or some who have kids but struggling to buy a house because they've got married, so they can see how the timing or the money thing can offset everything else.
Yeah.
And things like kids, you can't really, it's really hard to plan kids.
Yeah.
They come when they come, and obviously you can try to have them at a certain time, but it's down to the gods for when they come. So some people wait. Okay, now I want to have kids when I'm 35, or when you're 35, you're less fertile. So it's hard to have kids, and you have the IVF, and it's very expensive, and then you got to spend money on that. So yeah,
There's a number of factors that contribute to having kids, and I think stress and environment.
Exactly right.
And
Exactly right.
What you've got going on in your life, and all that type of stuff.
yeah. So I think there's never a perfect time. There's just a better time for kids. So we've done the things we're trying to leave the things that can wait till later, effectively.
Yeah. How long have you been with her?
10 years. 10 years in February 16th or 18th. I can't. 16th.
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 So 2 days after Valentine's.
2 days after Valentine's Day. Yes.
Oh, what made you want to take her out 2 days after Valentine's Day and not on Valentine's Day?
Well, that's the day we met.
Oh,
It's the day we met.
right.
So the day we met is the day we kind of say we got together, even though it wasn't that at all.
Gotcha.
But we just go for the day we met. It's easier.
Yeah, okay. And you've got 2 boys?
2 boys, 3 and 7, Rio and Hudson.
Wow.
Handful, but they're great.
You love it.
I love it.
I can tell you love it.
They make me laugh. They're genuinely so funny.
If they're anything like you, they would fucking be hilarious.
Yeah, they're good boys. Good boys. I'll give you an example. So when Rio was about 1.5, he was being cheeky at dinner. He got, I don't know, spag bowl or something. He had it and he was like throwing it on the floor. And I got his hand and I hit it. I was like, red choice. And he looked at me and he got my hand and went, red choice to me. He hit me back. I was like, well, and I looked at my partner. I was like, what just happened? And we just like tried to be serious because he's throwing food. But he just hit me back because obviously he has no comprehension of behavior and what's right and what's wrong. Or to that extent anyway. So we were just crying with laughter.
And kids are just sponges, right?
Exactly right.
They just observe and they take in like anything that they see. So he was just like mimicking his dad.
Exactly right. And we just, so it was so funny. And even now we just reminisce and say, do you remember that time when he hit me? And now he meets someone and he turns around and he waves his bum at them. It's just hilarious. It's hilarious.
Who did he get that off?
Not me. I have no bum. I have no bum. So
no bum.
I have a pelvis. That's pretty much it.
Well, at least you acknowledge you have no bum.
I have no bum.
You got no booty game.
No booty game. My hips are like rigid, stiff.
Right.
Yeah. Literally. I mean, I do have a bum, but it's not great.
Is that so your hips are like your dad's?
Yes. 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 So yeah.
Only good for one thing.
What's that?
Making babies.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's all I can do.
Yeah.
That is the limit to my expertise.
No, it's not the limit. It's just one of those skill sets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Now, since our last podcast, you've won a couple of awards.
I have, yes, in teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I won an award which recognizes the highly accomplished nature of my teaching nationally.
What does that mean?
So to be a teacher, you need to satisfy quite a few standards.
Yeah.
And I demonstrated that I can satisfy some of the hardest standards. So I won an award for that. There's probably only about, I'm guessing maybe 600 people in the country who have it.
Wow.
Maybe 40 people get it a year. So I was one of the 40 people to get it.
Right.
So yeah.
So can you explain like what are some of those standards?
Yes. So there are 37 standards I had to meet. Some of them are very straightforward, like being able to speak to parents and guardians with respect and dignity, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So that's easy. So then you just, screenshot an email and obviously cross out the names and stuff and then say, this is me showing respect to a parent or guardian, something like that. And then the harder ones, which is how can you help your colleagues reconcile with Indigenous and Torres Strait Islanders in your school?
Right.
So that was a really hard one. But luckily, as a DJ, I know an Indigenous guy who was a DJ who turned out to be a community worker.
Right.
He works in Indigenous communities with projects and stuff like that. So I spoke to him. I'd done a podcast with him just like this, or a Zoom.
Yeah.
And he gave me some really good ideas. And I took those ideas back to my school to say that this is what we could do and this is what we should do, which is, for example, have a recognition action plan, which is a way to kind of bridge the gap between Australians and Indigenous Australians and roll that out across the whole school. And that's just one standard. So, yeah. So it's quite a lot of work.
I'm just...
Do you remember me last year in Frank's, sitting down on my laptop?
Yeah.
This is what that is what I was doing. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, formulating all that and collating all that information.
Right. It's it's just amazing how you're able to like connect kind of like the different parts of what you do to then kind of benefit other parts of what you do to then get a national award.
That's why it's good to talk.
Mm.
And when I meet people or see people, like I know, as you know, I DJ as well. So when I see my DJ friends,
I'll just get you to pull that cord. So that's it. Yeah.
when I speak to my DJ friends, I'm always like, oh, how are you? How's work? And then you kind of connect on a deeper level because
Yeah.
I've got DJ friends who are accountants. I've got DJ friends who are car mechanics. I've got DJ friends who are teachers. I've got DJ friends who work for musical companies.
Mm.
There's a wide range of things that they do outside of music.
Mm.
So when I meet someone, well, for example, when I play soccer, they're not just a soccer player. They've got other things going on as well.
Yeah.
And unless you talk to them on the level, you will never find that out.
Mm.
That's why I'm always, cognizant that I should try to speak to people properly and find out what's going on.
And I think it's important, right? Like being able to being able to develop the skill to be able to engage people at a deeper level because
100%.
because then you get to like learn more about them. You get to understand like the world like from a different perspective, and then like kind of use that information or that experience to kind of heighten or like enrich other aspects
So true.
of life.
So true. So true. So true. So it's quite a blinker to kind of, as I said, see each individual as a thing you meet them as.
Mm.
So even yourself, when we met in the cafe and you was a photographer, but then I didn't realize you got other businesses that you do as well, which is amazing. But unless I spoke to you and on a deeper level, then I would not have found that out, and vice versa.
Mm. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So cool.
I think you're a pretty cool dude.
Thank you. But before we kind of close this part off, not many people do more than one thing.
Yeah.
So we are the limited few or the rare few.
I think it's important to have multiple things going on because I don't know, like then you kind of like don't get bored.
True. So true. And have I sent you my book I wrote? No. So I wrote a book and it mentions that part as well.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
In the last podcast, you mentioned about how you get energy in doing multiple things by switching.
Yes, exactly right.
And someone said to me, they listened to that podcast and they were like, oh my God, that actually makes a lot of sense.
There you go. Preach. Preach.
And what's interesting about like doing this whole podcast thing is the level of feedback that I get from people, and the fact that like I'm just sitting down talking to you, talking to others, and we're just like shooting the shit. But other people are like, oh my God, that's just so amazing. Oh my God, this person's like, So I really I absolutely love this.
It's a great setup you have, and if you get a chance, come on a podcast. And I've always wanted to say this: like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell. Funny story: when I teach class, so when I teach kids, and sometimes I'm teaching and I'm in my full flow, I'm videos and PowerPoints and at the end of the lesson, I'm like, all right, guys, any questions? No, okay. All right. Well, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. They're like, why is that, sir? Why are you saying that, sir? I'm like, I'm practicing to go to a podcast. Like, really? I was like, yeah. So there you go. Done it now.
I mean, it's interesting in like when you start off, you kind of have to do that because you have to like gain some sort of following. But then the really good podcasters, like they don't even have to do that anymore because like people know who they are.
Yeah.
And
I think people who like it will like it and comment and subscribe anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like a reminder because I'm guessing most people just scroll through.
Yeah.
Don't forget, comment or before you move on, let's put a comment in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of that. I don't know. I don't have a podcast, so
Yeah. I listened to obviously I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan, and he had Tucker Carlson on.
okay. How was that?
Yeah, it was really good. And Tucker was asking Joe about podcasting and how, who would have thought that podcasting would be such a big thing. And he asked Joe, like, at what point, so how long he's been doing it and what point to become profitable. So he's been doing it for 7 years. And he was just originally doing it at his house, on his couch, with his mates.
Yeah, just chatting.
Yeah, just chatting. And 5 years till he started making money. And now it's like
the biggest in the world.
Number one. Yeah.
I love Joe Rogan.
It's interesting, right? Because his big thing is like, do the things that you like. And it's okay if you have multiple things, because that's what makes you uniquely you.
100%.
Right? So he was a Taekwondo champion. Yep. He said the other day that he the point where he decided that he was going to give it up was when I listened to it last night. He was 19 and he did a roundhouse kick.
Yep.
And he knocked the guy out completely. Cold. For 30 minutes.
Jesus.
And he was like, he said at that point he had no idea the level of like power that he had, and particularly with that type of a kick. And he was like, I think I'm done. Yeah. Like, I don't want to, cause that much trouble. Yeah. But yeah, I thought like it's interesting, like this whole podcasting thing, and I think there's like huge opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the news and the media nowadays, people just want to hear from people they trust and hear it in a way that's not edited. Because like going back to one of my classes, I said, it's all about context. So if I said to you, I want to kill my girlfriend, you're like, oh my God, sir, that's really bad. What, you want to kill your girlfriend? But if I said to you, well, sometimes when I come home, the house is upside down and, blah, 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 blah. And in the context of it, it's just like a tongue-in-cheek throwaway comment, which can be taken, if it's edited, sounds really bad and just, I want to kill my girlfriend. But in addition to that as well, there's a second part, which is what I say afterwards. But what I would say afterwards. So blah blah blah. Come home, house is a mess. Sometimes I want to kill my girlfriend, but then I realize how much I love her, and I'm just it's just a stupid comment that I have in my head, and I never say it, kind of thing. But if you take that small snippet on its own, that's very powerful and very damaging. So with the podcast, you can hear where the conversation is going, what they're talking about, how it came in, how it was supposed to be meant, and then people can interject and say, okay, actually, this is what I meant. Blah 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 blah.
It's actually what they do with reality TV shows.
100%. So true.
They will edit the hell out of like the episode to create polarizing characters, and like something in like The Bachelor. I was actually having a conversation last night about this, but the Bachelor, like, you're either the sweetheart or you're the villain.
So true.
And it's kind of depending on what happens and the interactions that you have and like your whole persona when you first start off on the show and stuff, they'll work out who they want to be the sweetheart or the villain.
So true.
Yeah.
Like maths as well.
Yeah, maths as well.
Yeah, I didn't really watch maths, but I did watch a few episodes.
There's always controversy on that show. I'm like, bro, how come this Yeah,
I don't like maths because the concept is actually quite good, but the way they do it it's just for ratings. It's not about actually trying to find partners for people.
Yeah.
They almost get people who shouldn't be together and try and force them together. and put some, and then they try and get people. So the people who should be with each other, they put on different couples. So they're going to meet them, on the show, but not be with them initially.
And
that's the formula they use.
And then halfway
You heard it
through
first.
halfway through the show, they do a swap.
Yeah, a wife swap with that
It's like,
person.
oh my god, we had no idea.
Yeah, we had a great time and and like click, shock.
Yeah. Or they just like build a house and don't worry about getting married till like 10 years later.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. So how much DJing have you been doing?
Not much, actually, since last time.
Slowed down? Is it because it's seasonal?
It is very seasonal.
Yeah.
So, weddings is when it's warm, so summer. I did the Grand Prix a few weeks ago. That was good.
That would have been a bit mental. Actually, did you do it out of a car boot?
Back of a car, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best setup, but it was fun.
Right.
Yeah, because the car boot was a Fiat 500.
Ooh, they're small.
Tiny. The back of a Fiat 500 is literally, slightly higher than this desk or where I'm sitting now, about that high for the video.
Right.
That high. So they wanted me to stand up and DJ. And I was like, I'm not standing here for 5 hours and DJing, or 4 hours, whatever it was. Go and get me a chair. So they got me a chair and I sat down and DJed for 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So it's fine. So I'll sit like this as DJing for people coming in and out where I was.
Yeah. I don't think I can fit in a Fiat 500.
I wasn't in the Fiat. So if you could imagine the boot's open and they slid out the decks at the back.
Oh, and then you're
yes.
right. Gotcha.
So I had my little umbrella there as well.
Yeah, yeah. So, did you do DJing for Fiat? Is that why they had the car?
No.
Or?
So I DJ'd for one of my agencies is Solution Entertainment. Shout out to Solution. They pretty much run the whole entertainment for the whole Grand Prix, all the corporate marquees and Red Bull and Ferrari, and they pretty much do the majority of the corporate stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been playing for them for years. I've done the main stage a few years ago. That was amazing. And they said, we got a new pop-up, which was the SB. They had an SB set up there, which looked like the SB bar in St Kilda. And they had what's that drink everyone drinks with the orange in it? Aperol sponsor Fiat. So orange Fiat 500. And I was there DJing.
It's like a summer drink.
Summer drink, exactly right. And it was really warm. It was like 28 that day. It was lovely. So yeah, that was it.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So was it just the one day? Or did you do
I did just the one day. I just did just the one day. So because on the Thursday and the Friday, I work as a teacher, and Saturday and Sunday. So the Saturday was the gig. Sunday I can go and enjoy the race. I love F1.
Who do you follow in the F1?
What driver or team?
I don't know.
Do you follow F1?
I used to when my dad was around. But not anymore.
So my favourite driver is Lewis Hamilton.
Of course.
Because he's British and he's black, like myself. And he's very good and very nice as well.
He's very good. Yeah.
Very good. And last year, he walked past me. I was like, well done, Lewis. And he looked at me and he put his thumbs up. And my friend, he caught it on camera. And I was like, oh my God. He smiled at me. So, yeah.
Sounded like you creamed yourself.
I didn't cream myself.
No? Oh, okay.
I love him, but not that much.
Oh, okay. A friend of mine that I went to school with, she's Malaysian. Right. And her mum is like the cousin to the Sultan of Malaysia.
Wow.
And she always does she's like backstage. She's got like photos with her kids and Lewis Hamilton and like all the Formula One people. Yeah. It's like crazy.
Oh yeah, she make crazy money in it.
I remember seeing a post of hers, and she was I think she was like celebrating like a kid's birthday or something, and you just see this so it's video footage of like the kids on like a bicycle or something in their driveway, and it kind of goes like this, and then next thing you know, in the background there's one Ferrari and then a second Ferrari.
Wow.
And I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah. It's next level. It's crazy money.
Yeah.
It's crazy money. Yeah, like sometimes I think I'm doing quite well, and then you meet people who just blow you out of the water, And there's
Yeah.
people who blow them out of the water. There's people who blow them out of the water. There's just so many levels.
So, are you happy with him switching to Ferrari from Mercedes?
I am.
You are? Why?
I am. Firstly, they disrespected him
Right.
because he wanted to stay, and he's a really loyal person. He wanted to stay, and for him to stay, he said, "I want to stay. I want, I think, a 2-year contract plus 1 year additional or 1 year optional, and he wants to be an ambassador for Mercedes." Now, bearing in mind, every car he's driven in Formula One has been powered by a Mercedes car. They said no.
Why?
Maybe because I think he's like 38 now, 39. He's over the hill. That's what they think.
So-
Anyway, fun story is there's been reports now that they want to get Max Verstappen in the car to drive for Mercedes. And as part of his offer they willing to give him is an ambassadorial role for Mercedes, even though he's never driven a Mercedes-powered car in F1.
Isn't that weird?
So weird. It's disrespectful.
Is it because he's young?
Well, he's young. He's a world champion. He's the best driver at the moment, 100%. But surely you should be kind of, what's the word?
Loyal.
Loyal and rewarding people for being loyal. And
Yeah.
done such a great job. The number of people who've bought Mercedes cars off the back of Lewis Hamilton is, the numbers speak for themselves. So much so that when Lewis was announced at Ferrari, their share price went up, was at 4 billion or something.
I bet you they made him an ambassador straight away.
He is an ambassador as well.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So,
Potentially the person that Mercedes kind of got fired for making that decision.
probably.
It's a real branding foobar, I think.
Yeah.
Like, because you're right. Like, if he's been driving Mercedes powered cars his entire career, like, he should be an ambassador. And yeah, that whole disrespect thing is kind of like, it hurts.
It would hurt, and he's probably thought, you know what? I've served my time. I want what I think I did deserve, so I'm gonna go somewhere else. And they've offered him everything he wanted. They're gonna give him money for all his kind of his entrepreneurial things, like his Project 44, his all these other things he does, his fashion and music, and he's got a program to help get more. What's the word? People who are not white. What word I'm looking for?
Indigenous.
Not indigenous, but in general.
Right.
Underrepresented groups into engineering and STEAM, that kind of stuff. He's got a project to get like more women, more black people, more Asians, more Chinese, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it's a very white, male-dominated sport.
Yeah.
So he's got a project to kind of encourage more different
Gotcha.
demographics into F1 and engineering. So Ferrari have given him the money to do that as well for like how many years? So he's just like, this is great. Plus their
so
car's a lot
good.
better.
Yeah.
Car's a lot better than Mercedes now as well. So
Although you know that when you buy a Ferrari, in the contract, you can't actually modify it.
really,
Yeah, and you
Ooh.
can't wrap them. You can't change their colors.
wow.
Yeah.
How about if you sell it, can the next person do it?
No.
Wow. So the contract is like ongoing.
Ongoing for the brand.
So what happens then for the people who have those channels where they kind of get an old Ferrari and do it up, they change the color or they wrap it? Is that a suitable thing, or because surely, like, at what point does that contract kind of, is it a lifetime contract, or?
I don't know when that contract first came into play, but I potentially think like if it's an older Ferrari, like it doesn't really matter because it's like not like current or whatever. But I think it's interesting, right? Because like Lamborghini, for example, you can do whatever you want with it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the whole story about Lamborghini was that he was a farming agricultural tractor like company, and he was going to Formula Ones, and he loved the cars, and then he spoke to the Ferrari owner and said, I think you can improve it by doing X, Y, Z. And they kind of like dissed him. So he was like, okay,
I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself. Yeah.
So you got a tractor,
Yeah.
got some slicks on there.
Yeah. And like just developed it, and now look at it.
Amazing. They're great cars.
The
But they're owned by Audi now, I think,
yeah, they are.
which is good in a way because if you crash them, you can just a lot of parts are Audi parts
Yeah,
off of Audi R8 or whatever it is, which is a lot cheaper
a lot cheaper and a lot sexier.
and a lot more accessible.
Yeah, I think an R8 would be one of my dream cars. Yeah,
They're actually quite cheap now.
are they?
Yeah, they're. I think when they came out, they're like 100 and whatever grand, but now they probably get one for like 30 grand,
Right.
like a first generation ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's really affordable, but if it goes wrong, it's expensive.
Yeah.
That's what you pay for, the upkeep,
Maintenance.
maintenance.
Mm.
Maintenance. Are you a car guy?
No, but when I was younger, I had this Porsche poster in my room, and I would sit there and draw it
Cool.
like consistently. So I was always like a Porsche guy. Yeah. I mean, I recently did a shoot with my chiropractor's Audi,
Okay.
which was pretty cool.
Your chiropractor's Audi. Wow.
Yeah.
Was it for his car or for him? Or is he or she? Is she on the car or he on the car?
No, he's not on the car, but he wanted some photos done because he wanted to submit it to the Audi yearbook.
Cool.
Yeah, so I did that for him, and I did like a video, and like the video turned out really great, and yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. So it is interesting, like if you have the ability to merge creative techniques, you can really make something quite unique.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
So true.
And so for me, it has always been about like observing what other people are doing, try to work out how they did it, and then not so much like copying, but kind of like using different techniques for my own style, and then just continually doing that, finessing it, and then next thing you know, I've got people like, oh, I recognize your photo, or I recognize your work, or
Yeah, because he's got that special style or that
Yeah.
unique style. That's kind of
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you did Formula One?
One. Yeah. Sorry. Go back to DJ. Yeah. So I did Formula One. I did a wedding up in New South Wales, which was a nice. That was hard, man. No, it was hard because it was a 4-hour drive there. Done the wedding, a 4-hour drive back to get back for the Grand Prix.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was pretty tough. Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
Was it like on a farm or something? Like 4 hours?
In Corowa, you know Corowa? Heard of Corowa? Just over the Victorian border, the New South Wales border.
Right.
So it was a lovely venue, great food, great drinks. So that was a really cool wedding.
It would have been a late night.
No, it finished about 11
Oh, okay.
or 12. But then I was thinking, all right, let me just get back. So I literally like, all right, guys, bye, bang, bang in the car, and I'm like, back down, the Hube Fury or whatever, the M31 or whatever, straight back,
Yeah.
straight back.
Have you done many weddings?
Not really. Not really, because it's a lot more pressure, and people want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And if it's not perfect, you'll hear about it.
Yeah.
And also with weddings, they really want their own music, which is great. They really want their own, special songs, and they want you to, play. Sometimes, like for the wedding I done, I had to do like 2 special remixes of songs, which was fine because it was my friend, so I didn't mind doing it for my friend.
Yeah.
But for a random person, I wouldn't do it because it's just too much pressure.
Yeah.
Plus, as well, if I do a wedding, one of the things I look at is the demographic of the people getting married.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're 60-year-old guys or 60-year-old couple who live in regional New South Wales, I'd probably say no, because they're probably into the music that I'm not used to playing, because I don't understand the music or the context of the music. However, if it was a younger couple, maybe in their mid-30s, who are one of them's mixed race or Asian or whatever, and the playlist they give me is R&B and stuff, then and a little bit of house, I can do that. That's no problem.
Yeah.
So depending on the age and the demographic and where it is as well.
I think it's really good that you take an in-depth kind of like review of who the client is so that you can make an assessment on whether or not you do a good job based on your experience.
Exactly right. And if it is not my demographic, I normally know people who can match that demographic, and I can say I could do it, but this person will be better for you, rather than just handball that responsibility to someone else.
Delegation.
Smarter, not harder. And vice versa. I've got people who send me gigs because they want to hear, I've done my wedding, they wanted to hear just classic house for the whole wedding. And I'm like, that's easy. I love classic house. Play classic house all day. They had a great time. We had a great time. Easy. No brainer.
Is it boring though?
Well, weddings?
No, like being asked to do something that you like, or like, I don't know, like, does it get repetitive?
This too is in my book. The reason why I do weddings and gigs sparingly now is so I look forward to the gig, as opposed to, I went through a phase when we were trying to buy our first house. I was like working, doing like 6 gigs a weekend. So it'd be like 9 to 11, 11, 1 to 3, Friday, Saturday. I was exhausted, and I was like, it felt like work. I come home exhausted. Obviously, I've been teaching all week as well. I'm trying to have a soccer career as well. I was just exhausted. It's so hard. It was good money, but it was just too hard. But now I'm doing maybe 1 or 2 gigs a weekend that I can look forward to. And I can do a gig, say, 11 to 1, and I can have a drink after and relax a bit, as opposed to just going from one gig to the next and the next. You can't really drink too much. You've got to drive to the next venue. You can't really relax too much. And because it's only one gig that I'm trying to do now, I can plan it a lot better, as opposed to like, it's a bit like Groundhog Day sometimes when you're paying the same gig to gig to gig. Obviously, your music's not the same, but it's very similar because you're just playing the same songs and the same similar crowds. So see, because of the time factor, you kind of suppress your creativity.
Yeah.
But now I've got more time, I can be more creative and go back into my old songs or look for new songs, as opposed to I haven't got time to sit down and spend an hour and a half looking for music.
I think it's interesting though, because you to get to where you are now, you needed to do the repetitive work and be busy to then hone in your skills.
So true.
And it's all about like getting the reps in.
Exactly right.
If you get the reps in, then you gain the experience and you develop the skill to then be able to go, no, I don't want to do that anymore because I want to be selective, or I want to take more time, or I have more time to be more creative, so then I can think about lots of different things.
Yeah, and then play a better set.
Yeah. And then obviously feel like get more satisfaction and more reward out of it.
It's so true. So true.
Because like people will recognize that, one, you're happy with it, then they're happy with it, and then you're happy that they're happy, and it's just like this perpetual
So true, so true,
Mm.
so true. Plus, as well, like if I was offered a wedding the other day. It was a last minute wedding, and they said, "I'll do this," and I was like, "Oh, I could do it, but it's going to be expensive." Like it was my basic rate, but it was a mate, so it was my mate's rates. I said, "I could do it." She goes, "Oh, can you go down to like $600?" I was like, "Sorry, I can't do it." I know someone who could do it. And bearing in mind the wedding was like in 2 weeks' time, I was like, they could do it, but I'm not going to do it. So it's come to a point where I'm at a stage where, okay, I am selective, and if I don't get a gig, I can spend time with my friend. I can wake up early with my kids and my partner. We go down to the beach, relax and chill out anyway. And I'm like, is it worth killing myself for $600? No, it's not. It's not worth it. If it's $4,000 for a wedding, which is what I charge, fair enough. It's worth it. $4,000, it's worth my time and effort. But if not, you keep your money, because there's a saying: if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Or if you buy cheap, you buy twice.
If you pay peanuts,
you get monkeys.
You get monkeys.
So true.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I don't even know how much you charge for a shoot, but I'm sure it's a premium rate.
Mm.
And there's, you know, and if somebody said to you, you know what, I've only got $100, you'd be like, it's, you know, I could do it, but it's not worth my time. And, you know, I'm worth this amount, you know, and this is keeping your internal integrity.
Yeah.
However, there's a guy that's down the road who started out, he's got no lighting, he's got no things, he's just got an iPhone 13 Pro Max with a candle, you know, he'll do it for $100 happily, you know.
Yeah.
So that I could do it. It's not worth my time. If you were, you know, Pamela Anderson or Catherine Zeta-Jones, maybe I'll do it for $100. But
yeah, it's again, it just comes with experience and understanding what you're worth.
100%.
And if you say no more often, what happens is you attract like the clients that are happy to pay.
Exactly.
And then everything's a little bit better.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like, I've never understood.
Hang on a minute.
Sorry.
That just turned off for some reason. Sorry. What were we saying?
Pamela Anderson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, knowing your worth, and then we went into something else.
Yeah, no. So, you got to gain the experience to understand your worth, and then be able to attract the right type of clients.
Right.
You know, and I think the more you do that, the more the right type of clients will end up finding you, and then everything's like sweet, you know.
Yeah, and I know where we're now. I was saying, I've always wondered why divas and people who are picky get their way. And I don't know if it's a respect thing. Like as you know, I used to play soccer, and people are like, oh, I'm not playing this, or play me here, or I'm not playing, or I'm gonna play for this amount of money, and they're adamant. And the club is like, oh, okay, I'll give them the money. I was like, hang on, like I was quite, you know, respectful, and you know, tried to kind of meet the club halfway with wages and stuff. And he's like, I want this amount of money, which is more than everyone else. Are they worth that? Maybe, probably not. But because of how they are, they kind of get their way because they know their worth, even though they're not really worth it. I don't know how that. It's interesting. I'm not sure how that works. Is it because they're stubborn and like I'm not playing unless I get this?
Possibly,
yeah.
I mean, it is that whole piece of being rewarded for bad behavior. Like, you don't want to be... If someone gets rewarded for bad behavior, then they just keep doing it.
100%.
And
sorry. It's like is it the squeaky wheel gets the oil?
Yeah. Yeah. Or the person that shouts the loudest gets heard the most.
Exactly right.
When really they should be shut down. Because, like, don't shout.
Yeah.
You know.
Shh. Inside voice.
Whisper.
Whisper.
So when did you decide to stop playing professional soccer?
Professionally? Oh, wow. That's a good question. Professional or professional here professional?
Well, hang on. You came to Australia to play
yes.
soccer professionally.
Professionally in the sense that I got paid to play.
Yeah.
It wasn't the highest level.
Okay.
But it's a high level, very high level, but not the highest level. It wasn't A-League here.
Yeah.
Probably about one or two below that.
Right.
So
still kind of like state.
No, it's higher than state.
Oh, higher than
Higher
state.
than state, yeah.
Oh.
And, you know, I think the definition of professional is being paid to do a job, right? Or paid, yes, you know. So I was paid solely to come to Australia to play soccer. So they pay for my flight, pay for my visa, pay for my food, pay for my accommodation, and I got paid to play. Like I think we trained 3 times a week, played once or twice a week.
Right.
So, you know, I didn't have to work, but I did work as well because I had time in the day to work. So I worked in the local school. I worked in the restaurant as well. Because there's, you know, if not, you're just sitting around doing nothing. So I thought, let me just get some extra monies.
Yeah, sitting around doing nothing's kind of
Not me.
It's not me either. I got an itchy bum.
Yes.
I'm like, I got to keep doing stuff. Otherwise,
so true.
Otherwise, my brain kind of like, yeah. Anyway, back to the question. When did you stop
Stop.
professionally.
Right. So stop getting paid. Probably just before COVID.
Okay.
Stop getting paid. I was about 38, 39,
Okay.
38.
Yeah.
And I could keep playing. Like I still play now actually, but I don't get paid.
Yeah. It's just social.
It's social, yeah.
Mm.
But to play at the level I could do, I would need time to sit around and do nothing. I would need that time to do my recovery, to do my yoga, to
Yeah.
cook my healthy food with greens and eggs and whatever, sweet potato, get my right carbohydrates, and go to the podiatrist, go to my therapist, go to my chiropractor, just to manage the body. Because once you get older, you get aches and pains like you never believe, boy.
That's why I see a chiropractor.
Yeah.
I can't. It is interesting as you get older. If you don't manage your aches and pains, it just like builds up over time.
So
and
true.
then it's like, man, the fucking recovery time's bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
Like, why is this thing taking so long?
Yeah. So I as we both do, we listen to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of the ones I listen to is about sports, nutrition, recovery, all that kind of stuff. So I now do cold showers every day, twice a day. I limit the amount of wheat I eat. I limit the amount of I maximize the amount of vegetables I eat. I maximize my sleep. I've got 2 pillows. I've got a pillow between my knees to help me with my recovery. So all these little 1%ers,
Pillow science.
exactly right, yeah. Or just to keep your knees apart, to keep your hips aligned, which takes the pressure off your back. Little things like that.
What? Really?
Because sometimes your feet, let's say your legs, when you lie like that on your side, one's like that, and it kind of comes down with gravity,
Yeah.
which twists your hips, which puts pressure on your lower back.
Right.
But if you support your knees to keep them straight, it keeps everything more in alignment.
Gotcha.
So it takes pressure.
Isn't that
off.
what your partner's for? Like you just have your partner in between your legs?
In between your legs, on your side. Wow. I'm trying to think of the position in my head. I'm thinking, is he being serious or this a joke?
No, it's in like spooning.
Spooning.
Yeah, like can you like put one for her legs, like in between your legs?
Put my leg on her leg.
Yeah.
Right. So she moans about that because I've got heavy legs.
Ah,
It's okay for a couple of minutes. And she's like, it's not off now.
beefcake.
What's beefcake?
The
I'm
size,
a beefcake. I'm
the
a
size
beefcake.
of your legs.
Oh, well, she's a small little petite thing. So
Gotcha.
it's a relative thing.
It would be. I can understand how it would be heavy.
Heavy, yeah.
Yeah, so probably pillow's a good idea.
So good.
How did you go about learning about that?
Well, as a PE teacher and a health teacher, I'm always looking up stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And once you look up stuff, it kind of comes through on your phone anyway.
Yeah.
So new sciences, new technologies, new treatments. I just kind of like pick the best things of the best thing out of them. So another thing I do, I have hot water and lemon every morning before I eat, and then I don't eat till midday, 11. So I haven't eaten yet today, and it's 1:15.
Yeah. Intermittent fasting.
Kind of thing, yeah, and that really helps as well.
Mm.
And then my first meal is super nutritious. I feel amazing.
Is it a coffee?
No coffee.
No
I kind of come off coffee,
Really?
Yeah, I started drinking coffee, and I'm like, well, firstly, with my new school, it's old school now. Everyone's drinking coffee. So I thought, I join in, drink coffee, have a mocha every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee's coffee. It's all right. Sorry for those who love coffee. And then at night time, I'm lying there. I'm like, why am I awake? What's changed? I like 3 a.m, and I'm like, it's the coffee. And I stop
in the morning.
Yeah, so I'll go to bed all right, and I wake up. I'm like, I try to sleep, and my eyes are closed, but I'm not asleep. It's just my eyes are closed. So I'm like, okay. And then I stopped drinking coffee. I went back to normal tea. Tea's fine.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'll have a coffee again. I'm like, it's the coffee. So now I don't drink coffee.
What type of tea?
I don't discriminate,
Oh,
I do like tea.
so all types.
Most types of tea, yeah.
Mm.
Sometimes they're green, sometimes it's black, sometimes chai, sometimes peppermint, which isn't tea, or chamomile, which isn't tea.
Why do they call it tea then?
I think because it comes in a tea bag and you put it in water. It's a brew. I think it's the brewing kind of term.
Right.
as opposed to leaf, green leaf or black leaf or white tea or white leaf tea or whatever. So
Yeah. That's funny. Do you think your phone's like listening to you? If it's like,
100%.
yeah,
You know what? I have another theory. Have you ever thought about something a lot and it comes up on your phone and you think, I have not said nothing. I've said nothing about it. It comes up on my phone. Has that ever happened to you? Because I know if you say something, I want flights to the UK. Flight Centre will come up on your phone or whatever it is. That's old news. But sometimes I think if you think about something, it will come up on your phone. It's creepy. It's so creepy, man.
I don't think I've experienced that. Maybe subconsciously you've thought you hadn't said anything,
Maybe.
and then because maybe it was like the previous day, and then you're like, oh, I didn't say anything about that today, but for some reason it's come up.
Well, the reason why I say that is because every day I like to. There's a few channels on YouTube that I listen to, and they pop up because you're used to watching them every day. They've got a daily kind of feed.
Yeah.
And going back to my lower back problem, I wasn't even searching anything. I had like lower back problem, and it came up with something on my P1 thing for sciatica in my back. I'm like, I didn't say anything to anyone about this, and it's come up on my thing like how to deal with it. It's so random. It's happened about a few other things as well.
That is random.
Very random. And it's happened more than once. I'm just like, this is really strange.
Is your lower back issue like an injury or?
I think it's just down to poor posture, I think.
Yeah.
Overall. I think it's a soccer problem because when soccer players run, you notice their hips are pushed forward to push their legs forward. And when soccer players run, the steps are really short because it's just about high acceleration, low top speed, if that makes any sense. It's just get there quick as you can, loads of steps to get there, as opposed to nice long strides which take, and then you got to stop and go back the other direction. So to do that, you got to kind of push your hips forward, and I think that is a long-term result of it, the lower back pain. But I manage it now. I do loads of back exercises, glute exercises to kind of keep the area strong. Core, yeah, all that kind of stuff. And yoga as well, as I said, which helps so much.
What type of yoga?
I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate.
Do you go to a class?
No.
Oh, you just do it at home?
Go to YouTube, man.
Oh.
This is in my book too. It's coming out soon. Maybe. The book, so it talks about, in my book, there's no excuse to not be active. You can go onto YouTube and type 20-minute yoga, a million videos, or 20-minute HIIT class, a million videos, or 20-minute push-up challenge, a million videos. So you could, whatever you want to do, or whatever time you have, or whatever injury you have. So it could be, exercises to strengthen the lower back. There's a video on it, or 20 videos on it. You just pick the one which suits you best. So that's what I do.
I think you're right. Like, there's no excuse for not being active. As you get older, you have to keep active.
So true.
Otherwise, that's when the body starts to
seize up.
Yeah, seize up and deteriorate, and then all these other ailments kind of come into play. But then also that there's no excuse not knowing how to do something because you can search it up.
Exactly right.
Someone's got a video on it somewhere, and it's like, bro,
It's so true. It's so true.
It's just about being able to know what question to ask or what to search for.
Yeah.
It's interesting when Google first kind of came out, I was always really good at like searching for things, and friends of mine were like, oh, how do I find this? I'm like, well, this is what you put in, and the next, I found it.
Yep.
It's a little bit like what's happening with AI now. AI still requires input from a human. You just need to know what prompts to put in to get the right outcome.
Yeah.
Because all AI will do is scour the internet on reference information and then present it in a way based on what you've asked.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, it is a little bit like Google, like when Google first came out, just trying to understand what you need to ask it.
The prompts, yeah.
Yeah.
How to work it, yeah. I think with AI, in my experience, is to be as specific as possible. So even if your specific question or prompt is 4 lines long, you'll get a more specific answer, nailed, specific to what you asked.
Correct.
Without having to kind of, okay, that's right, that's not quite right, take that out, keep that. Have you heard of, is it Sonos or Soros, the AI thing?
Sora?
Sora, is that right?
Yeah.
When you type in a prompt, it comes out with a video.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Can I be Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's bananas.
Banana. Whoa. Like, we had a guy at our school, actually, to demonstrate how it worked. And he put a video up of puppies playing in snow.
Yes.
And you look at it, it looked like a video. Like, oh, puppy playing, oh, cool. Goes, oh, that was AI generated. That's not found on the internet. It made that video. And you look at it, you're like, if you look at it, you can kind of see it's not quite, what's the word? Real. But to the naked eye, it looked amazing. Amazing. And there's, I think, is it Microsoft have one or Google's got one?
I think
it's Google's got one.
I think it's Google, yeah.
But the Google one is a bit flawed because it's a bit woke, apparently.
Right.
Because
it won't do anything with like Asian people.
Well, this true story, right? So, so the same guy who presented about Sora or Sona, whatever it's called,
Sora, yeah.
he said it's good, but it's not quite right. For example, he put in a search for create a picture of German generals from the 1940s. So we had all these guys in Nazi uniforms. One was black, one was American Indian, one was female, and it's like kind of right, but not quite right. It doesn't really hit the mark. It's trying to be kind of being a bit more inclusive and woke.
Yeah.
So interested.
The whole woke thing it's interesting.
Yeah, I think people are trying to do the right thing, but it's kind of it's an overcorrection.
It's an overcorrection, like
Way
too
but
much.
Yeah.
Adobe, I think Adobe have a video editing AI now as well.
Okay.
And so they can, like, in the video, you can like highlight stuff and you tell it what to do. Like, it'll be like either remove it or like
change it
or like make it, like add more detail to it and all this. And it's just crazy. Like there was one, actually I think that's Sora, or maybe it is Adobe. But there's one where there's a video of a guy that he's in a suit and he doesn't have a tie on. But then they put a tie on him, and as he's walking, the way that the sunlight is hitting him based on the scene, it's like perfect. So yeah, like the technology and the advancement is just like phenomenal.
It's really scary. It really scares me.
What's even scarier is what they're doing with Neuralink.
Oh, that the Elon Musk thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where they like...
That's in my phone. I listen to me about my videos on bloody sciatica.
Maybe it's...
I know it's you.
Maybe it's in your pillow. But they did the first successful human trial with a quadriplegic, and the quadriplegic was like playing a video game.
What, with his head?
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah. So it's only like a matter of time.
Do we get like the cyborg kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen in our generation, but like next generation or like, you know.
It's scary to think about what will happen to my children or how the world will be when my children are older. It's really scary because I think now I'm old enough and wise enough. I've done a lot of stuff. I'm aware of a lot of stuff, so I can kind of navigate through. But when I'm not there, it's down to them to do it. And all I can do is kind of prepare them as best as possible without scaring them.
I think what's interesting is we're at the generation where we grew up with no technology, and then with the emergence of technology, we've been in it, so we know what it was like
Without it.
Yeah. And so, going outside and playing on your bikes as a kid and getting dirty and like all that type of stuff, whereas kids like these days are like on devices and it's that online world. And
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what? I was thinking, have you seen the film Wall-E?
Yes.
Wall-E is one of the most accurate depictions of humans in the future you'll ever see.
I'll have to watch it today.
So true. Like the world is like a wasteland, and they're all up in a spaceship. They're all like a little buggy. They're all being fed food and drink, and they're just so inanimate. And that's how the world's going to be, with a device in front of them. Makes them lazier and lazier and lazier and lazier and lazier.
It's there's another film, Ready Player One.
No, I've not heard that one.
Yeah, Ready Player One is kind of almost the same, but they like the characters are living in this it's kind of like a junkyard society, but then they all jump online and they've got characters and like all of this, and they have to like play this game because like the creator like wants to unlock something actually in the real world, but like it's always been this like quest to like find this thing. And so there's different like challenges like when they're in the game to kind of like get stuff done, but then obviously like in the real world, like people are after them and like all this type of stuff, and they don't know who each other are, and then they meet and it's like, oh my God, you're actually like a female, but your character is male, and like all of this. Yeah.
Wow.
Ready Player One.
Is it new?
Nah, it's been around for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Yeah. I can't get over watching June 2.
I haven't seen the first one.
Oh, man. It's so good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've seen it out. It just come out recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people going to watch the cinemas here in the cinema.
Yeah, but you can download it on Amazon now.
Amazon Prime?
Yeah, Amazon Prime.
I've actually got Amazon Prime, but I haven't actually have it to watch because I've got an American Express and get free Amazon Prime. I haven't actually got the Amazon Prime yet. I need to get it.
Yeah. I think it was so fast. Like the minute they decide to stop showing it at the actually, I think you can still see it at the cinemas, but
June 1 or June 2?
No, June 2.
June 2. Okay.
So actually you can get June 1 and June 2 on Amazon.
Wow. Okay.
But like I think it's still at the cinemas, but then there's obviously like a time period where they were like, no, we'll just leave it at the cinemas, and then once that time period's over, it's accessible on streaming platforms, and it's just so good because like now I can watch it without actually having to go anywhere.
So you've watched it twice, 2-3 times, have you?
I watched it at the cinemas twice.
Wow.
I've watched it 3 times.
Twice, all right. So what were their names? Oh, wait. Where's the popcorn?
The first time.
Joke.
First time was gold class.
Ooh.
The second time was like standard.
Jetstar.
And then, and then my daughter wanted to watch it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, and then I was like, oh shit, you could like download it, like own it.
Oh, yeah.
Like so you can rent it or you can own it. So I was like, well, I love it.
So rent, download, or stream it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you can download to keep it.
Download to keep it. Okay. So I like downloaded to keep it. And yeah, and then I've watched it 3 times already at home.
Wow.
And it's like a 2.5, almost 3-hour movie.
Well, good movies are worth it.
Yeah.
Like Bad Boys 2. It's a long film, man. Why is that funny?
Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2 is good,
It
man.
is a good film.
I told you.
Yeah, Bad Boys 1 was good as well.
I think they're all good, to be fair.
They're making a 3rd one.
A 4th one.
Oh, sorry, a 4th one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the 3rd one?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I like when they do it.
Not as good as the second.
No. This is different, isn't it? This is different. And I think the one coming up looks like it's going to be actually quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the kind of what's his name?
Will Smith or Martin
No.
Lawrence?
Like the sergeant of the police station. He's dead now.
Is he?
Yeah, he died in the last one. Because he
Really?
got shot, remember?
Oh, I do remember that now. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
You know, whoosha.
Yeah. Woosa. Woosa. I love when Will Smith goes, Sergeant, come and get some conversation for my Ferrari. Goes, that's why I drive police cars, Will. That's why I drive police cars, Mike. Like, okay, I'm moving on. And Will's like, looking at Martin going, oh, hello.
Oh, hello. I also thought that Martin Lawrence's character retired. So how are they making a fourth one?
Something must have happened, isn't it? Yeah.
Bro.
They must have gone for his daughter or his mum or his wife or his whatever.
Well, in the last one, Will Smith's illegitimate child
Yeah.
kind of came out and he was the enemy, and then all of a sudden now he's a friend.
Or he's your son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of threw a real kind of curveball to the whole story.
It's a good story, man.
Yeah.
It's good that they kind of kept it going. I like it.
They're making a June 3
Already?
Yeah, they're making it.
Is it an animated film or actual people in it? Or a bit of
Actual
both?
people.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
actual people. June 1 and 2, they did a lot of the filming in Jordan.
Okay, in the desert.
And they had to do it early in the morning because it gets
It's
too hot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I know that in one of the scenes in June 2, where he rides the sandworm, that took 4 months to film.
Wow.
4 months.
For one scene.
Yeah.
There's AI it next time.
Somehow, I don't think that would be the same.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think the reason it took so long is because they had to find the right sand dune,
Yeah.
and work out the right timing of day for
Yeah.
the sun,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff, and then the stunt that was involved. You know,
Wow.
can you imagine running on the top of a sand dune and then jumping into a bit in front of you that's actually falling?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to see the film, clearly.
You need to see the film.
I need to see the film.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible kind of.
Yeah. But then I think in the third one, a couple of characters from the first one that died are coming back. I was
Wow.
like,
Is it like a Star Warsy kind of thing?
um,
Goes back to the start, but before the start.
no, I don't think so. It is actually, there was a lot of kind of critics that were saying that the Dune movies are actually how Star Wars should have been made.
Okay.
Because it's dark and there's a lot of depth in the characters and stuff like that. Whereas Star Wars, George Lucas kind of made it a little bit more like Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
But I think at the time it was probably the right thing to do, because otherwise Star Wars wouldn't have been as successful as, it's been over the years.
Well, I guess we'll never know. That's a short answer. So it goes back to our conversation about getting the reps in.
Yeah.
And then later on, you can do it exactly how you want to do it, or do exactly what you want to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of similarities between some of the characters in Dune versus Star Wars.
Okay.
Because the Dune books came out before Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah.
So George Lucas could have copied Dune, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Or probably did.
Yeah, probably did. But, and they've got like 9 movies.
So who wrote June then? Or who created June? I know it's a D-U-N-E, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got
Oh, here we go.
I've got a book there.
Greg Fraser, Josh Brolin.
Nah, so Greg Fraser's the photographer. Josh Brolin's one of the actors.
Okay.
And Josh in that book writes poetry. Yeah.
Cool.
And that book has photos from the first film and the second film. I should know the name of the writer who wrote June, but it's gone.
Is he still alive?
No, he's not alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now it's like a so how many June books are there?
I think there's 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And each film is based on each book. Is that how it works, or
No, I think what they did was when they made the first one, they kind of like merged book 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then they skipped a couple of parts, in it.
just to streamline it?
Yeah, to kind of streamline
So
it.
each book like a bloody Bible kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think the cinematography and the scenery and just like everything that they've done to create it is just like, it's just a masterpiece.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on this June film bug thing.
Yeah.
Still.
And then also like it's interesting like the characters, and when you look at how much they got paid versus how much time they spent, like actually acting, or how many scenes or lines that they had, the way that they've kind of so they've got like the main characters in June 1, and then they kind of like introduced a few characters, and then June 2 the characters that they introduced became more like major.
Yeah. Prominent.
More prominent, and they've introduced even more characters
For June 3.
For June 3,
Cool.
and yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's this story about this boy who doesn't understand like the power that he has, and then he understands the power and he develops it, and then there's like multiple families, and like there's controversy
You're spoiling it. You're spoiling it.
in the bloodline and like all this stuff.
Game of Thronesy vibe.
Yeah, not as complex as
Not
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones went a bit like
Bananas.
Yeah.
It got really confusing.
really deep.
Yeah.
So deep. And it's based on Middle England, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The War of the Roses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely phenomenal like TV series. And it's just, like I think it was like season 4. You're like, what the fuck? Like, where is this storyline coming from?
Yeah.
And who are these people? And then like just trying to remember like people's names and stuff.
I mean, I remember when it got really big, there was like hour-long or 2-hour-long podcasts explaining what happened in the So I was waiting for that for some of them, yeah. Like the basic stuff I got, like, okay, that person killed that person's cheated on that person doesn't like that person, trying to plot against them. I got that bit. But when it's like, the Targaryen and the family and the dragons and the golden egg and I'm like, someone say KFC. Yeah, it got a bit, but I got the general gist of it.
Yeah.
But like the people who really get it about the family lines and stuff, I'm just like,
The family lines, the kind of like intricacies over who slept with who and who's got a relationship with what and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, bro.
it got wild, really wild.
You almost needed like a university degree just to like understand it.
Pretty deep.
And then they came
Or
out.
read the book, and the book's like that big as well.
Yeah, and they came out with the almost like the family tree kind of like diagram, and you're like, what? Like,
Yeah.
you read these names, and I was trying to work out who in the TV series
Who,
is
yeah.
actually playing that.
Yeah.
But it's also is not as complex. But when Lord of the Rings came out,
I tried to watch Lord of the Rings a few times,
Yeah.
but the first film is so long. I fall asleep half an hour in. Like,
It was slow.
Is it the giant that comes in? The giant when he comes in, I don't remember because I fall asleep every time. I tried to watch it like 5 times.
Yeah.
Every time the giant comes in, I'm just like, I'm nod off and I'm out. And I wake up and it's like an hour to go. I'm like, well, I've missed obviously an hour and a half or whatever. So I'm like, forget it. They're so slow. So slow.
So slow. But again, it was kind of like this. My God, that sun's like blazing through now. Kind of like this key moment in movies and cinema, and like people like, oh my God. And it really transformed the film industry, I think, in New Zealand. Because
it's where it's filmed, right?
Yeah. Because I think it was cheap, and the scenery and like the expertise that were there. I think it was really, it really highlighted the skill set of like people in New Zealand.
Oh, 100%.
And what they could offer.
Yeah, because everyone's thinking, okay, I'm making a film for Hollywood. Let's film it in Hollywood, which is going to premium prices. But there's only places around the world you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think when Hollywood, like they worked out it was too expensive there, they looked at Australia because Gold Coast is where they do a heap of the
Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh, it's too expensive. What's the next place down? And it's like, oh, New Zealand.
Yeah.
And then Peter Jackson was from there, and he's like, yeah, let's just do it here.
Peter Jackson, the guy who owns the clothes company.
No.
Why is that funny? A different Peter Jackson.
It's another Peter Jackson.
Okay.
He directed the Lord of the Rings.
Well, now I know.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wild.
But yeah, a lot of really good stuff's come out of New Zealand, like the All Blacks.
Yes.
For such a small nation to
be so good,
to be so good in rugby union. I had a boss that he's Kiwi and is really well connected into the rugby union fraternity, and he would like call up his All Black mates and
as you do,
just as you do, like, hey, I need your jersey for a
charity
a fundraiser thing. And they're like, oh, no, I have to give it to someone else. And he'd be like, no, you owe me, mate.
Really? Tell him.
Yeah. But the whole thing with them is that they really promote grassroots level, like, players coming up the ranks. And their whole philosophy is kind of like this, do the right thing. It's very humbling. Like they don't have cleaners.
Oh.
All the players clean the change rooms themselves.
Okay, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's so nice. I mean, I don't leave mess anyway.
Yeah.
I would put stuff in the bin. But well, but that's how it should be anyway, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
like
exactly
really
right.
like should we? I'm talking a bit holistically now. Should we really have people going up and down the streets picking up rubbish? No, we shouldn't really need to do that. We shouldn't. People just put the rubbish in the bin. People just change the bins. Is what we should have,
Yeah.
Ideally, in a perfect world. Well, in a perfect world, people should be like in primary schools. In primary schools, you can't give a kid food in a wrapper. Or if you do, they have to take the wrapper home.
Yeah.
So there's no bins. Well, in some primary schools, they have a few bins to promote kids taking home their rubbish.
Yeah.
As opposed to just filling up the bins at school.
Yeah. And like parents will get like told off for like having too much like wrappers in lunchboxes and stuff.
Not told off, but I think they're kind of encouraged. I think they're told well before, like, please to buy those kind of those bento box lunch boxes with compartments, sandwich, grapes, carrots, a few chips, a muesli bar, whatever it is, and unwrap it and put it in. So they keep the rubbish at home as opposed to leaving it at school.
Yeah. It's kind of good.
It's kind of good, but it's still rubbish. It's still wrappers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just wrappers just being concentrated at home as opposed to in the school environment.
I guess from a cleaning cost perspective from a school, like you just end up like reducing, that kind of like line item of how much you spend on cleaning.
So true.
Because schools are like run like a business, right? Like,
well, it depends on what type of school it is. State schools just run as best they can. Private schools are more of a business. They're there to make money.
Mm.
But yeah, I agree. It's a limited amount of money wastage on cleaning and.
Well, thanks so much for coming along again.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. I was going to ask you, should we have this conversation off after the podcast?
No, ask.
Should we do a podcast? I have an idea. That's my crock. I have an idea. Should we do a podcast where we ask each other one question and go through it in detail? So it could be like 10, 15 minutes, like snippet, short and sharp. So it could be, I won't use a question I've thought of. I'll think of another one. Should men and women have roles in a relationship, specific roles?
I like this idea.
And then we just talk about the one question, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then that's one episode. And then the next episode, we do another question. Could be a fun question, like, what's better, ham or cheese? Whoa. Whoa. There you go. Just as an idea.
I think it would be highly controversial because of the
Lactose intolerant.
No, because of
vegans.
No, not because of the vegans. Because of, I guess, how in depth the conversation is going to go.
Okay.
Which I think is good.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point.
Yeah,
like a simple question which has so many levels.
Yeah. Let's plan it.
Let's chew the fat.
But let's think of 4 questions each
for one episode.
Yeah.
Or just to plan it, 4 questions.
No, for one episode.
4 questions each.
4 questions each, and we go for like 10 minutes or like.
But 4 questions is a lot to get through in 10 minutes.
No. 10 minutes for one question.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I would do 4 questions in an episode.
Yeah.
And then divvy it up. Okay, cool.
Or we actually do 8 because you do 4 and I do 4.
Okay.
And then we just like try to.
Yeah, see how it goes. Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this video, click here. And if you like the content, you can click there. Find Felix on Instagram. His thumbnail's in the thing in the description below.
Usually I say that, so it's good that someone else is kind of like taking the
role. Well, I do it for my radio show. I say like me, follow me, add me, search Teon Teonjay on all your socials.
Actually, before we end, do you have any questions for me? Because I've been asking you heaps of questions.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where did you get your shoes from? They look so comfortable.
These are Archie's.
Who's Archie?
Archie's slides.
Who's Archie?
Archie is a Melbourne-based like shoe company.
Okay,
and their whole thing is that they've got like inbuilt arches in there. And they're super comfortable.
I have no instep. I got the flattest feet like ducks.
You need to get Archies.
But getting arches when you don't have an arch is probably not good for you. Because it's forcing an arch which realigns your ankles and knees and hips.
Right, okay.
It's just best to support what you have.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when at my age.
But their thongs, you know how thongs have the bit that goes in between your toes?
Yes.
Like underneath it's like the button.
Yep.
Their thongs don't have that. It's all one piece.
Whoa. Okay, cool. There you go.
Yeah. And they're just like super comfy.
There you go. All right, cool. Archies.
Yeah. So how am I? I'm really good. Yeah.
Good to hear.
I got a lot of things going on. It's a pretty exciting next couple of months or 6 months. Yeah.
Cool. There you go. All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Amazing.
Been a pleasure.
Thank you again. See you on the next episode.
Peace out.